Hello, family. Welcome to another episode of Walking in the Newness of Life with me, Adeshawa Adedoyin. Our topic for this week is assertiveness over aggressiveness too. So we had a little difficulty with one of our equipment during our last production. So this episode is basically a continuation of our last episode. So if you haven't watched our last episode, you have to catch up with that. So we stopped at the woman who seek out help from Jesus because her daughter was possessed with an impure spirit. And we talked about how the woman used assertive mode of communication to get Jesus mercy. So let's just imagine that this woman had responded to Jesus in an aggressive way simply because she was not expecting such challenging analogy from Jesus. I mean, we're talking about the savior of the world here. We're talking about the Messiah. What would have become her daughter's fate? So this is telling us that choosing assertive over aggressive mode of communication is the best any day, anytime, regardless of the situation or the circumstances. Even though assertiveness does not come easily with most people, but it's an important communication skill that each and every one of us needs to learn and apply in our day-to-day activities. Assertiveness is not just an helpful way of communication that is clear, direct, and constructive. It's also based on the understanding that your opinion and another person's opinion and need are to be considered. Yes, that it's very important to consider your own point of view and another person's point of view. If you're the type that is used to aggressive mode of communication, that believe the only way you can communicate effectively is by being aggressive, then it's never too late for you to work on your communication skill. Let's learn to communicate respectively in an assertive way, regardless of who we are dealing with. It shows you are a person of honor filled with wisdom, and it also make communication process to be fruitful and rewarding, rather than bringing about tension and ending in an unpleasant way. Life is a lot on its own already. Being constantly caught up in aggression will only make it worse. I mean, God has called us into peace and joy, not into tension and chaos. So aggression will only make you lose your peace. So my darling sisters and brothers, when next aggression wants to take over, find a way to stable your emotion and reflect on the outcome you want the conversation or circumstances and not dwell on what your emotion is driving at. Because even though our emotions are natural feelings, they are still meant to be governed by wisdom rather than it dictating our actions. Positive communication has several benefits. We are going to be mentioning few because of our time. One is strengthening relationship by showing respect for self and others. Two, it reduces power struggles, of course, because the respect will come spontaneously and not by trying to enforce it aggressively. Thirdly, it builds self-esteem. And lastly, it reduces feeling of anxiety, resentment, and helplessness. I can go on and on. So, family, may God help us to choose assertive mode of communication in every situation, conversation we find ourselves, because that is the best way to go. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next time, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.